Yesterday afternoon, Gael put out the strangest spaghetti western style of advertisement, basically trying to discredit Connolly and trying to turn voters away from her. She is going to win the presidential election, probably. Me, myself, and I tell all my other loyal people on the right, more conservative people, to spoil their vote, write Maria Steen at the top of the ballot and X out everybody else, okay? Just scribble out everybody else. Don't put an X in their boxes because that's like voting for them, right? Just scribble out them completely. Bring like a black marker or whatever you have, lads. But this is the strangest advert I've ever seen in my life. They're basically trying to make people vote for Heather Humphreys, but discrediting other people doesn't make you vote for somebody else. It just makes you hate that person. And right now, in my personal opinion, and 50% of other Irish people statistically believe that we have nobody that we can vote for. It's basically left and lefter, dumb and dumber, left wing and more left wing. That's how it is. Heather Humphreys is left wing. Connolly is a socialist, communist, neo-Marxist. Okay, so
Connolly wants to be President of Ireland. But let's rewind to the 1990s. Long before politics, Connolly qualified and practiced as a full-time barrister for many years. Then in 2008 to 2009, Ireland was entering the grip of financial crisis. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their jobs and thousands of businesses closed. So what did Connolly do during this time? Did she work for the banks and financial institutions about to repossess homes? Here's one moment Connolly coldly faces down one person who tackled her over work on repossessions in the courts.
I've been told to withdraw the barrister for the bank. I'm sick and tired of this summary and I'm not going to discuss it.
No acknowledgement, no direct answers. Fast forward to 2016 when Connolly is elected to the Dáil. Despite earning a living from it, Connolly would go on to state how opposed she is to repossessions.
You hear TDs here asking for a moratorium in relation to house repossessions, which I agree with. Over the last 2 years, I've participated in many debates on mortgages and arrears of mortgages and people losing their homes because of their inability to pay the mortgage. And all of the time, the other problem was people evicted for failure to pay rent because they simply aren't able. And we're refusing to look at that. I've 1 minute left. And I'd like to use it on behalf of those people who have lost their homes, their health, and on occasions their lives, because of the absolute criminal behaviour of the banks. And a serious question has to be answered about the role of the public interest directors on those banks. What are they doing on those banks? And a serious question has also to be asked about the banks, two of whom we substantially own. They have done this, Minister, in our name. And I want to say here clearly, they have not done it in my name. What they have done is criminally wrong.
Complete and utter hypocrisy.
Lads.
And then when she was recently asked about her work in this area,
I took all types of work, that's the rule.
why won't she answer straightforward questions?
I'm not going to itemise what I do. And I'm answering your question, I took all sorts of work.
Connolly made a living as a barrister, working for banks in home repossessions. This is the normal course for any legal practitioner qualified in that area, but most would admit it. No amount of passionate speeches can change that. Serious questions remain. How many repossession cases did she represent? Why did she never declare this when speaking on the subject in the Dáil, in Galway City Council, or on media? Why not be straightforward? How many family homes were taken? How much did she earn from repossession? What banks did she act for? When did she start representing banks? When did she stop representing banks? Actions speak louder than words.
That's a good question.
The Irish people deserve to know the truth.
I actually liked it. I liked that. But at the end, they should have had hashtag spoil your vote, because nobody is voting for Heather Humphreys. Sorry, Gael. Everybody hates Heather Humphreys just as much as Connolly. But very interesting question. When did she stop working for the banks? And as a loyal Galway man, born and raised, well, I was raised here anyways, since a very young age, but as a loyal Galway man, I have a few words to say about that. This is crazy, guys. We have a Galway woman here who's, Galway is the most flippin' liberal place in the whole country. It's like San Francisco of Ireland, But like, she's trying to give off and personify this sort of holier than thou, Why are the financial institutions taking homes off people? And she knows in the back of her mind she's trying to speak up against this because she did it herself. It's a classic psychology. People normally project their insecurities, their weaknesses. Whenever they've done something themselves, they want to speak out and preach out against it a lot of the times. So she's shouting in the door, oh, they repossessed homes off these people, they can't pay their mortgages, so they take away their homes. Well, in reality, she did the same thing. Utter hypocrisy, the height of hypocrisy. But plain and simply how it is. But no matter how good of an advertisement or spaghetti western, a type of movie that you personify and portray to the public, nobody's voting for Heather Humphreys either, unfortunately. But yeah, she won't answer straightforward questions like that. If you're an Irish person looking at this, it's really bad optics. Terribly, terribly bad optics. Like, you have a woman here who claims to be socialist, claims to be, communist, neo-Marxist, more left-leaning, super left-leaning, saying that she's for the people. She wants to put homes into the Constitution. She wants to write in every Irish person should have a home. It's in the Constitution. I'm going to put it in the Constitution. When in reality, she was working for massive financial institutions during the turn down, which myself and my family had a horrendous time for about 10 years of poverty during the downturn from about 2008 to about 2016, let's say, or, a little bit there. Let's say about 12 years of hardships, my family, ourselves, okay? We didn't get our home repossessed or anything like that, but very hard times. And I remember those times in 2008, 2009. I personally remember them as a Galway man. But a lot of people looking at this, I don't like it. If she was working on behalf of the banks to take homes off people, some people would kill themselves. Like, a lot of people took their own lives. I know a guy personally in my village. They have kids the same age as me now, grown up. He was in like 10 million euro worth of debt. He took his own life, back in the day, back around that time, 2009, 2010, because he couldn't pay back the debts. And this is the kind of people that you want to prop up and say, well, they're for the people. They're about as for the people as flipping Hitler was. You know what I mean? These are not good people, guys, that we're putting into office. They're sort of like faking it, feigning all responsibility. And then when they're asked directly, hey, did you actually take homes off people? She can't even answer the question. It's horrendous. It's the worst thing ever, guys. These people are not our friends. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people are like, Chris, oh, she's so nice, and she's an Irish lady, and she gives off this amazing image of this Irish socialist. She's not, guys. She's just as ruthless as the rest of them. Speaking of ruthless, immoral bastard, the devil, let's say, we have Leo Varadkar today, a Sunday Times article talking about the gender recognition law. Now, first things first, the whole country is at a standstill. We have massive housing, massive poverty. Nobody has any good jobs in this country. All my friends that are my age, okay, even with degrees, the highest of education, masters, PhDs, very hard to get ahead in Ireland, extremely hard to get ahead here. But this guy wants to come on his soapbox every single time he's back in this country and write articles about same-sex and women in sports and men in women's sports and bullshit. And I fucking hate this shit, guys. Let's get into it. So he says, last May in the Summer Sun, the 10th anniversary of Ireland's decision to vote for marriage equality law was marked by a week of seminars, conferences and celebrations. We had set an example for the world to follow. That made us proud to be Irish. So Ireland, being the gayest country in the world, actually voted on the marriage referendum. Okay, they said, okay. And I believe Maria Steen voted against it. Okay, shout out to Maria Steen. I'm just joking. I think people should be able to marry, do what they want. But at the same time, guys, that's not what made me proud to be Irish. What makes me proud to be Irish is my heritage, my ancestors, going to the bog during the summer, hanging out with my friends, drinking pints and having the crack, okay? Speaking with other Irish people, learning about my heritage, eating Irish foods, like having stews. And that's what makes me proud to be Irish, guys. Not the marriage referendum of being gay. That's what maybe makes him proud, so he can flip and sleep with all the men that he wants to. Go, sleep with all the men you want to, Leo Varadkar. Suck as much cock as you can. We don't care. Nobody cares, guys. You understand? Nobody cares how much, let's just say, men you sleep with, okay? How many young men that you're chasing in Portugal, or whatever he said recently. Last month marked the 10th anniversary of the coming into force of the Gender Recognition Act. It is one of the most progressive laws in the type of this world, given that it allows the people to have their preferred gender recognized in law without having to undergo medical or psychological tests, let alone surgery or medication. Complete lunacy. Imagine waking up one morning, County Gaines, okay, 6'4", 115 kilos, saying to myself, hey, I feel like a woman today. I don a wig, I put on a skirt, and I'm a woman because of this Gender Recognition Act. Cuckoo! Okay? This is known as self-determination, and in essence, it accepts the idea that gender is a social construct. Do you see how gay and stupid this idiot is? Leo Varadkar is the devil. He is, in my opinion, the reason why this country is the way it is today. He fucking destroyed this country. And you'll see me swearing quite a bit in this, because this guy is evil. He is the epitome of evil, the devil, let's say. Women's and men's first names, pronouns, clothes, speech, hairstyles, and mannerisms did not exist in nature, biology, or science. That's false. They absolutely do. They are human inventions that developed over time, and they vary from culture to culture. He's a neo-Marxist. He wants to get rid of the family unit because he can't have a family. He doesn't have a family. You know, gay people, they can't have kids, so all they do is take kids from you guys. That's what they do. They convert your kids and steal them off you. Plain and simple. Oh, this video is going to get me cancelled. Oh, Jesus. Sex, on the other hand, is biological and relates to chromosomes, organs, and related characteristics. For all the fuss about pronouns, how many people know that hundreds of millions of people speaking languages in which there are no pronouns, or that the Irish language for words him, her, and they are the same? Admittedly, it can change the word that follows, but not always consistently. Gaelic is kind of queer. That's not true. You are kind of queer, not Gaelic. That's actually false. There was actually a fluent Irish speaker from the Aran Islands that actually disproved this on X earlier. So it's not exactly what he's making it out to be right there, saying that there's no pronouns like him, her, they, zer in Gaelic. Okay, it's actually not. That's actually not true. All around the Western world, trans people are being demonized and scapegoated by populist, nationalist, and religious fundamental actors. That's not true at all. Only maybe the Taliban does that. We live in Europe. I live in the Republic of Ireland. Nobody cares about your trans people. We're all the same. I want everybody to be the same. The only thing is you keep harping on about it. You keep pushing on to children. You keep flipping pushing it in the news every single day when we have bigger issues in this country. We can see through your bullshit lies, Mr. Varadkar. Varadkar. Okay, what kind of fucking Irish name is that? This is bullshit. This guy's bullshit. This guy's not even Irish. My last name is Walsh. It's the third most common name in Ireland. And people think that Varadkar is more Irish than myself? We just stop you bollocks. They tell their citizens that allowing people to have their preferred gender recognized in law will lead to a social breakdown and disaster. Women and children will not feel safe. Absolutely. The floodgates will be open and millions of confused children won't know if they're a boy or a girl. 100%. He said it himself. 10 years later, Ireland has proven positive that these scare stories have no basis in fact. Since 2015, about 1,500 people have secured gender recognition certificates. Okay. Nobody really cares about that. The numbers applying, far from surging, actually fell last year. The legally recognized trans community make up a tiny and vulnerable minority that possesses a threat to no one. Nobody thinks that they're a threat, guys. But obviously they have been in a lot of mass shootings in the United States of America. Okay, that guy shot Charlie Kirk. I think the guy that shot Trump, there was a whole bunch of mass shootings as well. And most of them nowadays, this is FBI statistics, are actually from trans people. So that's not true either. This guy is so hyped up on his bullshit that he actually doesn't even understand truth or facts. He just says bullshit and just thinks that people are going to listen to him. I'm Leo Varadkar. I used to be Taoiseach, so anything I write down on paper is the word of God. No, we still believe in God, you devil worshipper. Oh, this one's getting cancelled for sure. One of the advantages of being gay or lesbian is that most people know at least one gay or lesbian person. This fucking guy. They know intuitively that the homophobic tropes used against them don't stack up because trans people are a much small minority. Most people have never met a trans woman or trans man, or even less likely to know one. That's not true. I met loads in college. I went to college in Galway. This guy just says stuff and it's just bullshit, guys. He just makes up lies, man. He just lies to the people. They are therefore more likely to believe the harmful content that they see online, created by people who want to portray trans people in a negative way, as dangerous, aggressive, as a threat. Nobody does that on the internet. I haven't seen that ever. Nobody talks about them ever. This is a straw man argument. This is a flippin' stupid argument. I have had the privilege to get to know some trans people in the past year. I have had the privilege to get to know some trans people in the last year. Oh, he got to know them all right. I heard stories. He got to know the trans people. And I know this is not who they are. To my knowledge, there is no evidence that any person with a gender recognition certificate in Ireland has carried out an attack in a bathroom, harmed a child, or stolen a medal from a female athlete. Yet there are people who, hand on heart, believe this is happening and is coming to a town near you. Again, That's nonsense, guys. We can just see in the UK, the US, there's tons of stories of that stuff. Tons of stories. Just because it doesn't happen here in Ireland doesn't mean it can't come here. This is this Irish trope that Irish people love to say, well, sure, we've never had it here. I heard some guy on a podcast recently, oh, we don't have Drag Queen Story Hour. And we do have Drag Queen Story Hour. Ross McIve, or whatever his name is, he went to jail for 3 months for interrupting a Drag Queen Story Hour. Like, truly, guys, he went to jail for that. Prison, 3 months. Maybe a suspended sentence. I think he actually got sentenced to 3 months for interrupting a Drag Queen Story Hour. So these beautiful young kids, 5, 6 years old, won't get fucking brainwashed by their bullshit. This video is crazy. Ireland's Gender Recognition Act has been a success. Again, hyped up on his own bullshit. Self-praise is no praise, my friend. It has allowed a small minority to live in the gender which they identify and that have recognized by their state. It is an example for other countries in the world to follow. That is not to say it is perfect. Like all legislation, it should be subject to review and, where appropriate, amended. Opponents of the act cling to extremism and exceptional examples like that of Barbie Kardashian, a Brazilian and male violent criminal who secured a gender recognition certificate and was led into women's prison. So there you go. He just got proven wrong. He just proved himself wrong. Barbie Kardashian has a truly shocking and tragic backstory which explains a lot. Once known explains a lot. This is the thing. In the real world, Mr. Varadkar, we don't make excuses for violent criminals. We put them in goddamn jail. We don't make excuses for violent criminals. Oh, Barbie Kardashian is misunderstood. Chris, Barbie Kardashian is misunderstood. It doesn't matter. He came out of prison and he said he wants to murder his parents, who probably gave him an amazing upbringing, and also the flipping person that works in the prison. Psychopaths. Nonetheless, one's case of abuse or even several is not ground to abolish the act, nor take away the rights of recognition of 100 fellow citizens have done nothing wrong. It is grounds for stronger anti-abuse provisions. There are sham marriages. We have procedures to detect and deal with them. No reasonable person will seriously suggest cancelling everyone's marriage because there are shams. In Spain, activists have taken the lead in challenging cases of abuse. Here we go. This is the big one right here. The issue of participation in sports is a complex one and often gets mixed up with that of intersex athletes, which is a whole other issue. No, it's not. Again, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm 250 pounds, okay? Why would I go and compete in a sport with women, guys? At 6'4". Imagine I put a wig on and went to compete in sports. It's ridiculous. And the women are amazing athletes. They probably kick my flipping ass in a lot of these sports, swimming and all this stuff. But to do it in UFC fighting, this guy wants to see women getting beaten up by biological men. That's what he wants to see. They're neo-Marxists. They love seeing sickness, guys. They're crazy. That's what they do, guys. They're psychopaths. The law as it stands does not prevent sporting bodies from creating female-only categories where female athletes, biological women, would otherwise be at significant disadvantage, nor does it prevent there being a separate subcategory for trans people in the case of the Dublin Pride Run. I think clarifying this would be a lot of the anger out of the debate and pour cold water on the heat being generated by haters. Haters, he's the hater. Gender and sex both exist. Why should they not both exist in our laws? Complete full of shit. This guy is literally the devil. This guy is trying to take your kids and brainwash them. Like, genuinely, guys. Female and male-only spaces are another dilemma. Lots of men don't particularly like the fact that women often come into the gents' bathrooms to avoid the long queue at their own. That's not true. Every time, I'll be honest guys, every single time I go to the pub, which is quite a bit, I go to the pub a lot, every weekend. I don't drink that much, but I'm sober. I never see women with the long queue going to a men's bathroom, ever. That's never allowed. Ever. So he's making up bullshit lies. Many gay men do not like the fact that our clubs and sometimes frequently by groups of many gay men do not like the fact that our clubs are sometimes frequented by groups of women. What? Dude, what is this guy talking about right now? Like, what are you talking about? I understand that the issues of male and women's spaces have an added dimension of safety. Males are stronger than females. Yeah, he wants to see a 250-pound man beat up a 135-pound woman. That's what he wants to see. These people are sick. They're sick, guys. Women's concerns should not be dismissed. I do not see an easy solution. However, the lazy anti-woke solution would be to introduce bathrooms, laws, or single-sex spaces limiting access to one sex. No, we're not going to do that. You're going to use your own bathroom and you're going to be normal and you're going to shut the hell up about it and you're going to like it. Understand? What was that famous quote? Your body, my choice. You're going to use those bathrooms that we tell you to use, and you can't do anything about it. How about that? How would it be enforced? Genital inspections would be totally unacceptable, and a DNA test impractical. Absent that, many trans people will simply pass, particularly for those who can afford the hormones and surgery. In the US, some states have attempted bathroom laws. It hasn't worked. Women who look masculine because they are butch, have some facial hair, or are bald due to cancer treatments have been followed, threatened, and harassed by men who think they're not real women. What? What such weird bullshit? This is all anecdotal nonsense. In other states, all gender bathrooms and changing rooms with cubicles and assure personal privacy are increasingly becoming the norm. I think that it will be the case in Ireland too. No, we are not going to have all gender bathrooms. We are going to have male and female bathrooms, and you're going to use those bathrooms designated to you, you freak. How about that? The Act also does not accommodate intersex or non-binary people. No third option exists, even though it does in advanced countries such as Australia and much less developed ones like India and Kenya with little controversy. Guys, come on. That's not true, man. Kenya, really? Like, to be perfectly honest with you, any continent outside Europe and North America would think this whole debate, this gender debate, is retarded. Is insanity. 10 years on, it seems as though many in authority do not want to talk about the issues of fear causing hurt or division. They don't want to go there. That's a mistake. Left to fester, the debate will be led by extremes and those of bad faith. Let's listen before we post and talk, not shout people down. No, you're going to listen to us now because you ran the show for 25 years. You're not in charge anymore. We are the captain now, okay? Everybody is the same. I want to see everybody with the same rights, but you follow normal regulatory laws that we have in this country. Everybody is equal in my society. Nobody is above each other. You too, you bourgeoisie, elitist, WEF shill, Lee of Varadkar. I love you guys all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video so I can support you. Become a member for just €3 per month. Help push back against the mainstream media and the woke Irish government. And I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.